Well, check this out, folks. Got a couple, I don't know if you can see them, but they're some kind of crane, I think, type of bird. Scoping out my chicken coop. Got the chickens all worked up. Don't know if they're looking for a snack. Freddy the rooster out there will chase them off. Well, folks, here it is. Almost the end of August. Here's the garden progress. You can see the sunflowers here coming up pretty nicely here. Some flowers going. Here's what's left of my onions. Got something coming in here. I don't know what it is, but it's eating the tops off the onions, making them hard to find. And here's what happens. You know, I saw some previous videos, I put the straw down to keep the weeds out, but what ends up happening is whatever the straw is ends up growing. I think those are oats. So I got some oats mixed in here with these onions. And here's some potatoes. They're about ready. You can see the greens are starting to turn brown. That's a sign that they're ready to dig up and harvest. I had to pick off the potato bugs. I had some bugs in here. I just picked them off every few days, and it looks like I got a gopher or something chewing up that potato plant there. I noticed a little chipmunk or something running through here. I better dig that one up tonight. Anyway, I picked the bugs up, potato bugs off, and gave the chickens a snack. So let's see, we'll wander over here to, got a area here with some flowers. Those are turning out nice. And back here, I notice I've got a bunch of volunteer cherry tomato plants, which, yeah, I'll take them. I'll pick them when they ripen up. Here's the cabbage that I planted, and I've harvested some of it. One thing I'm having a problem with this year is the grasshoppers are eating the cabbage leaves, so we've been trying to beat the grasshoppers and harvesting the cabbage before they can get their hands on it. Also, I don't know what's doing this, but all my kale, something's coming here and just eating it. So can't see even a track, so I don't know if it's the grasshoppers or rabbits or what. But it's irritating because it's eating up a lot of my kale. Here's the tomatoes I started in that tiny greenhouse. Some of them are starting to ripen up, so I've been picking a few of them. And so soon I'll be canning these. Let's see, let's mosey over here. I got some pumpkins going. You can see those are starting to turn orange. And then got some cucumbers mixed in here with some more volunteer tomato plants. I got tons of volunteer tomato plants, but you know what? I'll pick them all up. More pumpkins, and then more cucumbers. been making those refrigerated dill pickles. You put a mixture together and then set them in the sun for 3 days, and it's like sun tea, but it's they're dill pickles. So I'll have to show you folks those. Got a couple of melons going here. They're growing pretty good. Looks like they might be about ready. I might slice one of those open here shortly. Let's go over here. You can see here I've got a ton of dill. I planted one row, but all this volunteer dill. So comes in handy for the pickles. Carrots. Got carrots going. Kind of sparse, but something's been eating the tops of those as well. I don't know if I got a rabbit in here cleaning up on my kale and my carrot tops, but there's that row of dill I planted, but I've got all this volunteer from last year. I've had plenty of lettuce. Here's a little row over here, but you know, 50% of it probably didn't come up that I planted. Here's another row starting to seed out, so got to use that up. And this is the arugula patch, and once again I planted only one row of that, but volunteer from last year is showing up. So that's about done. It's starting to seed out again. I don't know if I'll even plant any next year, because it seems no matter what I do, it seems I get volunteers of that growing like wildfire. One thing that didn't come up this year is my green beans, and I even replanted them. Like we had a lot of nights where it didn't even get above 50 until July, so I don't know if it was because of the cold nights or what, but my initial planting didn't come up, and then I replanted and that didn't come up. So I don't know, I thought about putting another couple rows in to see if I can get anything, but but you know, I looked and I still got plenty of green beans from last year, so I'll be good there. And so I'll be canning those tomatoes and the potatoes, and I've been freezing the onions, chopping those up and freezing them, and they work pretty well for soup and stew. And I even threw them on some homemade pizza, and it turned out really good. So anyway, folks, that's a quick garden update. Some of the weeds are starting to kick in and get ahead of me, but I've been fighting them off. And we've been kind of dry, but had some recent rain, which has helped. Alright folks, I'll catch up with you next time. See you in a few. Hey folks, here's some of those sun dills. Sun cured and refrigerate. You have to refrigerate them afterwards, but it takes 3 days in the sun. And I'll tell you what, I've never had one that isn't crispy, so if you like crispy dill pickles, this is the way to go. So there's a recipe. You can send me an email to farmitecture@gmail.com, and I can send you the recipe. But yeah, like I say, they're really easy to make. There's no canning involved. The only thing is you have to refrigerate after you make them. So I've got quite a few here going, so I can tell you what, I'm going to have to get another refrigerator if I keep going at this pace. Alright folks, send me an email if you want that recipe. Talk to you in a few.